Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome back to Transfer View, but Trinity Podcast episode 48 special. Correct. And you know what? I'm going to kick off by doing something like what KG would do. Because you see you, Amanor. Hold that, Amanor. Look at that. Apparently, this is a live event. I'm taking bets. The bet is what time do they start? I reckon it's 9:06 UK GMT.
Not UK
live time on 9.
Not UK GMT. That is embarrassing.
I went full Greenwich Mean Time. Nah, man. Nah. So shout out to you, Amanor. And like Daniel Luciano says, more importantly, no way we getting a live Trinity. Yes, you are getting a live Trinity because with all the stuff that's going on, let's be honest, we need a live Trinity. No, we couldn't pre-record this week because there's too much going on. But before we get into the show, as per usual, this Trinity podcast is brought to you by Gowan Live, by Oxford Natural. Get your fully optimized self going. Look at him. There you go. And here's how you can do it. This video is brought to you by Oxford Natural and the Optimum Day and Night capsules. This is the perfect way to take charge of your weight loss journey through Optimum. Scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the video description below to start your journey now. Look at the difference. I mean, just look at KG. The proof's in the pudding. The proof really is in the pudding. Grab your QR code. Well, you can see your QR code there on screen. You scan it, get up to 75% off using code United View. Also, the link is in the video description below for you to begin your optimization. There's loads of people who have been getting in touch with us over the various months, to be fair, to share their journeys, to share their stories, as have we. You know what I mean? So it is, we're fully locked in. And actually, me and Josh are going up there tomorrow, because we've got Rangers, but we've killed two birds with one stone. Going to head into the clinic as well. You know what I mean? See Dr. Andre, find out what's going on about the mentality of the players. Yeah, the players. We want to know what it's like being a Premier League doctor in and around the chaos when the results are crap. Yeah, because actually, I saw Dr. Andre last week, and he was talking about, we obviously lost. We lost quite bad. And he was like, I said, what's it actually like when you're the club doctor around when it's what he goes, not allowed to say anything, mate. You're not allowed to do this. It was just very interesting. So anyway, look out for that video. That's coming as well. So yes. But episode 48, there's a super chat straight away. Red Baron said, should we smash our TVs to celebrate? Listen, if that's what's going to get the reaction, you smash the TVs, mate. Smash. What did KG say about Ultra? Mash it up. That's it. Yes. Mash up the changing room. Make them. They were crying. There were reports that
who was crying. I want to know who was crying. Who cried?
Do you know what? I think Bruno's capable of crying in that moment.
No.
Don't you think? Out of sheer anger, like I think Leacher could do the angry cry, just running around, just pacing around, just not the real cry. You know when you go, is that a tear? No. Like not the real crying.
I think the positive one is that considering he smashed a TV, one of us here has bought a TV in and around Carrington. So we know that they're being sold in the area. And hopefully Man United, Sergio, he's looking to cut back. He's looking to cut back. He goes, we've got to replace a TV. There's someone out there that's selling them. That won't be a problem.
This one's been smashed by Amarin.
Maybe that's why he sold it, because they weren't working in the first place, because they've been getting their TVs around there. So he thought, you know what, this don't work anyway. All right. Yeah, that's peak. That's peak. But let's get into this though, because let's be real. This Garnacho thing.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Owen, can you bring us up to speed with what's going on? Because this is serious now.
This is very, very serious. Right. So last night we had heard, obviously, United yesterday, a delegation, if you will, was in Italy having meetings with Napoli, with Lecce about a variety of different topics. With the Napoli meeting, it was about Alejandro Garnacho. Now, Sky Sports yesterday, comes out from Sky Sports in Italy. It was also subsequently re-reported by Sky Sports over here in the UK, said that Manchester United had lowered their demands for Alejandro Garnacho in these talks with Napoli. United is said to have come down from their initial asking price after holding talks yesterday and are now open to doing business at around £55 million. And it looks like there's not a lot of distance between a bid that's already gone in. Because Fabrizio Romano said this morning that Napoli's opening bid for Alejandro Garnacho was worth around 50 million euros. It was a package that included KG add-ons. Manchester United, though, want more. 50 million euros is around 42 million pounds, sort of, close to sort of 10-ish million pounds difference still, but a relatively small gap that could be bridged. Antonio Conte keeps pushing after he had a call with Garnacho on Friday, but there is another team involved in this too, because Chelsea have made contact with United, and on the player side, they're now deciding internally whether to bid or not. But the asking price seemingly has been set and also has been reduced.
Wow. Where should we start? Because where do we listen? Let's just get straight.
The money, like what? Like, when it's like this much yes, this much no, at least this. I did a poll on the channel probably last week when I put 40 million, 50 million, or 60 million plus, and they all voted, or the majority, should I say, voted for 60 million plus. It looks like we may be near that, but probably slightly below. What are you saying?
I just think I saw someone, Larry was in the chat yesterday, and he said, look, it's all good and well selling a player like Garnacho, but it's how we spend that money. We said was going to reinvest the Greenwood money. People said, have we really seen the money spent from the Greenwood deal? I don't know. I don't know if we can all say that because there was money that we're going to spend. And then the question is with this Garnacho one, what are we going to do with it? And are we going to bring in quality? We kind of missed the mark at times with the levels of player that we have actually brought in for replacement. When people look back, and yes, it can be, we talk about Amrabat versus Fred, or I don't know, any of these players. When you should never say we're missing an old player. We talk about De Gea versus Onana is just proof in the pudding. And every day is reminding me that Ineos feel worse than the situation we had before. There's just more people making bad decisions. That's what it's starting to feel like under Ineos. I don't understand what they're doing. There's been no attitude or a great plan towards a transfer window. There hasn't been. Like, this transfer window, we are in the mud. Man United are in a position that they should never be in. And I don't think we've attacked the transfer window in the way you'll expect, like there was a true plan. You've gone and had all these strategic reviews. What did you lot do in that meeting? What happened in those reviews? Because you knew you were bringing this guy in. You knocked on his door and said, "Come now." There must have been a plan of as soon as you turn up, this is what we're going to do for you in January. We all can now believe there is no January plan. There's just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what happens. And it's embarrassing. The way we're operating as a club is truly embarrassing. I don't understand it. And the fact that we're this far into the window and you got our manager punching up screens, he weren't doing that. He was as cool as he like in sport. We're breaking the manager in record timing. It's a joke. But yeah, that's just me so far.
Do you know what worries me a little bit is that, okay, if the sort of strategic decision had been made of, and I brought this up the other day with maybe this is why Garnacho is kind of angling of, actually, I would consider a move to Napoli or Chelsea, because he's like, look, they play 3-4-3 now. They don't play with wingers. I'm a winger. I know my heart of hearts can't really be a 10, can't be a wing back. Yeah. Brighton's a bit on the wall for me, and maybe I just need to go somewhere else. I would go, okay, if United have made that strategic decision, right, we got wingers, too many at the club. Anthony, he's going. Rashford, possibly going. Garnacho, possibly going. And we're going to reinvest it into 10s. We're going to reinvest it into wing backs. I don't trust Ineos to see the project through enough that in 6 months, 12 months time, that we wouldn't bring in another coach and suddenly be like, playing with wingers again, aren't we? And then suddenly we don't have wingers. Suddenly we've got a squad full of wing backs. We've got a squad full of 10s that we don't really need. It goes back to, like I was talking about this yesterday morning. If you sort of scale it back to all of this, or whether you think Garnacho's good or he's bad or he's overhyped, overhated, anywhere in between, the reality is Manchester United are forced to consider selling someone they probably don't want to sell, a homegrown academy player because of pure profit, because they need to fund a rebuild of the squad for a system of a manager they brought in mid-season and knew they had a squad of players that couldn't fit into this system. It goes back to, once again, poor planning and errors of the past that now they are complicit in. Previously, when they just came in at the start, it was, look, PSR, it's a bit of a problem, but we weren't here. You know, that was Woodward, that was Arnold, that was Murto, bad contracts, bad transfer fees, and we got to try and unpick that. It's going to take some time. And I think largely the fan base was, well, okay, we'll give you time to unpick that. But now they're complicit in these errors. They're complicit in, they gave, obviously, extended Ten Hag's contract, got to pay him off, sacked him. Brought in Dan Ashworth, waited 5 months, sacked him. Now, when they brought in Ruben Amorim, paid money to bring his old coaching staff in, and then decided mid-season we're going to bring a guy in with a different system, a different philosophy to a bunch of players that don't fit his system. So now we've got a bankroll, a spend to fit into that system, which we can't afford. So we've got to sell academy players to fund it. That is bad management. That is bad planning. That is bad strategy. And that's why, to KG's point, there is no faith that if they were to sell Garnacho for 65 million pounds, that they would actively reinvest it properly and we would be better off for it. There is the faith, and there was a little of it because we're skeptical of ownership anyway, but the faith, it's gone, isn't it? It's been completely eroded.
Yeah, there's a reason why basically we're well, like I said, I'm on edge and nervy around some of the decisions that will happen from here on out because of all the things you just listed there. 100% agree with what you're saying. And when I did that Flex's view yesterday, coming back home, when I was like, that's my main thing. You have to look at the reasons why he's going to be sold, because also one of the other big points is, like you said, Owen, if we're looking at backing this manager and getting this manager stuff he wants, is he in control enough, or has he got enough power to
needs? Not
exactly.
Even wants,
needs. Has he got enough about him or enough influence in there to be able to say, I have had a look, and you know what? If there was someone you're going to sell because he's sellable, I'm gonna have to say he doesn't really fit what I'm trying to do anyway. He doesn't really fit. So you know what? Yes, if you can give me a chunk of money that I can use now that we've agreed on this target, whatever, and that's attainable. Yes, green tick from me. Or is he saying, I'd quite like to keep him though. I think, you know, we do need players who can play out wide. We do need players who I want to get my teeth into. I want to develop, and there's something there. Or is it Ineos coming and saying, listen, in order just for you to get, you know, some wing backs, to get the specialist things you need in this thing, he's going to have to be one of the first to go, because you have to talk about sellable assets. It's all good about talking about raising money, but exactly who is sellable in our team? This is where we can. This is why we just immediately pivot and go, Rashford. And you, Garnacho. Kobe Mainoo was mentioned, of course, because that's another one where you look at and go, yeah, well, sellable if the big money
can I say that? Can we look at that now?
Rashford ain't sellable. Rashford
he's not sellable. Yeah, he's not sellable now. Sellable. But overall, like in the summer, like he's sellable. What I'm saying is he's someone you can sell for like
he's not
40, 50.
He's not
in the summer. He is.
He's not.
We can get 40 million.
Flex. We'll probably end up now because we have the.
So we can't sell Rashford now. That's it.
Look at
not in this window. Like we won't be able to sell him.
All right, so we'll get to what we're going to do with Rashford, because it's a big conversation, right? If we don't get him the Barcelona move, Rashford has to be reintegrated to the squad and he has to score goals for us to raise his value for him to leave in the summer. That's a lot of ifs. That's someone that doesn't work hard. That's someone that can't play the 10. That's someone that he doesn't want to see in the 9. Rashford ain't pressing like Ahmad. So now you have a problem of a depreciating asset that's not the manager's favor. He doesn't really like him. Yes, they're doing a bit of, everyone's doing PR, saying, hey, he's training hard, double sessions. Rashford, double sessions, my ass, mate. That guy's not serious. That guy is not serious at all. Like, and the coach, manager, however you want to call him, he can see it. If we're talking about letting the game go and we're not being in control, this is why you're seeing players. That news about Kobe being for sale and Garnacho being for sale, that was the dog whistle. It was a blatant one. And the fact that we're happy to negotiate with Chelsea, a team that's a rival, we are happy to say, here you go, here's one of our up-and-coming young players. You can have him for 65 million. So you can't now write off and say, hey, let's look at the Kobe situation and see what's going on there. We have 2 assets that are value for money that will sort out our PSR, that will sort out our PSR, everything. That's my wife. That's early. She didn't know I was doing the show, to be honest. Yeah, but we have 2 players that can sort out this situation, and there's nothing we can do. That we want to sell these players so we can rebuild the team, and it's an embarrassment. It's a damning indictment on what Man United has become. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, it is. Joe Fleming says, I'm saying sell to Napoli for 55 million with 50% sell on. Which we said that one earlier from Red Baron. Ishak says, you've smashed it in life when you're rolling on Sky Sports News wearing a tweed jacket. Big up to you, Ishak.
Wearing tweeds. Were you going with the tweed?
Yeah, it's just a little tweed number. Well, it's
nice.
grey and black.
I like tweeds. I like a tweed jacket.
I do like a bit of tweed. Little tweed shacket. Overshirt, actually, as they call them. Joe Fleming says, don't sell to Chelsea for less than 70 million. F them. Listen, I'm on trying to just, exploit some other teams, because how many times do we get serious and sell properly, or sell for like what the player probably isn't even worth? Like, it happens. Every other team manages to do it. And for once, we're talking about a few of the sellable assets then. Okay, you say Kobe Mane, you say Garnacho. You maybe don't say Rashford for certain reasons, but how many times do we oversell? Never is the answer, really. Kevin says Brighton would get at least 70 million for Garnacho. Oh, yeah. If he was some young up-and-coming, you know what I mean? You know what Brighton are on. You know what they're on. WJ Barrett says, guys, we need to stop with the who we're going to replace him with. We're selling him because he ain't that good and don't fit the system. This dude will be off in 2 years anyway. He thinks he's CR7. Get rid now. Red Baron says, I think we're one striker off winning the league. That's the infamous. It's infamous. That one. A long time ago.
Long time ago since I said that
we've all done it. We've all done, like KG was saying the other day. Good work. We all say things in this space that just end up changing. That is what this whole football.
WJ Barrett probably regrets saying what he's saying about Garnacho in a few years. Not even a few years. As soon as those comps start running up and Garnacho starts going crazy.
To be fair, I'm probably
celebrating the Scudetto.
I'm sure we could probably go back to some shows and find super chats from loads of people saying some pretty mad stuff. You know what I mean? No one's immune. No one's immune.
Do you know what's mad? Yeah, because Garnacho could go Napoli now, win the league in this season now, win it now, straight away with McTominay and them and Lukaku, all United rejects, whatever you want to call it. And just be lifting his first league title, and then you know what would occur then on the internet. Ineos and Joe Fleming says Ineos are broke. I don't care what anybody says. And Mav says Ineos would sell Old Trafford and the ground share to save money. LOL. That's a Liverpool fan, I believe. And Ravel says love Ghana. If he goes, target João Felix before Cunha. And Joe Fleming says they may not be taking money out, but no money in. And Uncle, shout out Uncle, says Owen spoke about changing one's opinion based on new evidence, but when Ineos sack Ashworth based on new evidence, it's bad management. I hear you, Owen. What you
well, I think, but then the new evidence continues on, doesn't it? Because since he did get the sack, those reports, and again, they're just reports, because we did hear a lot of both sides of the argument come out when it comes to the Ashworth stuff, didn't we? The new evidence suggests that maybe some of the things that he was raising, the concerns he was raising, i.e. Amorim comes in with a different system mid-season, that's going to be problematic. We should maybe look for a coach that plays a 4-2-3-1. I'm not saying that was the right decision, but some of the points he was making seemingly were pretty valid, were they not?
Mm.
The issues that we're having at the moment with the squad and the system, something that
and the truth is like when Uncle said, I get what Uncle's trying to say, but we have to let's see what they do post that then. Like we have to see, because I would go more with it's bad management, because you scouted him for ages. You hung your hat on him. You wanted him, and then straight away.
And it doesn't mean Ineos made the wrong decision and let him go if it wasn't the right cultural fit, and there was too many cooks in the kitchen and all that kind of stuff. But it's also worth pointing out that, I mean, it's not as if Dan Ashworth, we look at his whole career, it's not as if he was completely clueless, had no idea what he was doing. He would never work in football again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he'll get another good job for sure. David says, what happened to Scott and Greenwood pure profit? How did we spend it? If it's summer transfer window, then why are we in a bad place FFP wise? Isn't looking is it looking Glazer like Ineos?
Didn't we spend a lot of it in the summer though? With that,
I was going to say, when people say where's that money, we did buy players. it was probably
we bought Ugarte, Xerxes, Mazraoui,
Mazraoui, Delit, Euro.
Like the Ugarte one was contingent on McTominay going, if I remember correctly, wasn't it? It was
and that's
what Eric said, didn't he?
Eric spent a lot of money.
Ten Hag literally went, I didn't want to sell McTominay, but we had to, you know. So that's where that money went.
So I don't think we've got to be careful saying, where's that money gone? We just bought bare players.
I think it's so funny.
We're just saying their shit.
I think it's exactly. We got to spend correctly because now people are saying what we need in this Amorim system is energy, passion, and desire. And so people are like, raw, the players that we let go of, we kind of need them legs now, and we don't have them, which is crazy. Like
D says, a massive overreaction from the fan base right now, in my opinion. This is simply Ineos setting things in motion to get Ruben his players. Let's discuss that.
Push back on that, a little bit. Because this was something that I was bringing up the other week, wasn't I? When I was saying about those articles about the Kobe and Garnacho stuff. And the reason I push back on that is, because everyone does have a price and all that kind of stuff. What I will say with it, though, is just we have to be really careful with it, that I don't think it's an overreaction, because I think we have to sort of, again, take a step back and look at the bigger picture and say, Man United don't want to sell Garnacho, but why are they forced to sell Garnacho? And again, it goes back to bad planning, because they have to sell someone, an academy player, a homegrown player, to fund a rebuild of a squad, because they brought a coach in mid-season who plays a different system, and the players that are currently in the squad that they just bought don't fit in this system. So once again, we're looking at bad planning. That's where I think the overreaction comes from. I don't think the overreaction comes from, Garnacho, selling him in 10 years' time, he's going to be a world beater, or he's going to be this, going to do that, because no one really knows that. And that is dividing opinion, because some people are like, sell him, he's not good enough. Some people are like, no, keep him, he's only 20, and his goal involvements versus the rest of young players in Europe over the last 2 years, it's actually quite high. But I think the overreaction comes from, or the reaction rather comes from, this idea that, how have we found ourselves in this position again? We found ourselves in this position again from bad decisions and bad management. And ultimately, we are going to be forced to take a hit. And like KG's saying, there's skepticism about, are they even going to get those decisions right? But we've got to take that risk, because otherwise we're just going to stagnate and do nothing.
What about this? Sorry, because I've seen something in the comment section. Let's just mark it, just so we know. It's just from the free seats. Guy called Shadow. He's basically saying, guys, listen to yourselves, because you're trying to give every excuse in covering Amorim and Ineos. It's not always green on the other side. Also, let's wait and see where you finish. So it's just that I think that's an interesting take, because obviously we're seeing it from one side, and I get it. And obviously not to just exist in an echo chamber. I know some people now, which is a bit upsetting, but it is what it is. They have their right to feel like that. There's some people now that are saying Amorim's being really foolish with the way he's managing this situation.
But that side of it, when I said on the red carpet, we have to build, we have to stick with the thing, gut them out. But the free pass bit, when I'm saying like, that's why I was trying to talk about that interest, just to see where we were all at with that. And basically, I think most of the feeling was like, it's been that bad. Free pass to the end of the season. We ain't getting Europe. Try and do something in the cups, however far you can go. Obviously, you've got to try and win the Europa League, but try and do something in the cups. Keep rolling. Like, don't change anything. Don't change anything. Stay to the principles.
People don't like the phrase free pass, do they? I think that's the problem. If free pass implies that you could lose every game. But I think it's more like...
saying, Owen.
But I think if it continued like this, though... It's too sweeping. It's too sweeping.
It's too sweeping. You know what it means. You know what someone says. You know what that means, Owen. When a man says a free pass, it just sounds too... It's too aggressive in the side.
Guys, we're not here for wallflowers.
No one's saying that. No one's saying that. But we're basically saying the expectation on this season is different. The expectation is
I say call it a pardon. You lot are emotional wrecks.
But that's what you were saying. You were going free pass, but I don't think it is a free pass, because a free pass would imply we could lose every game between now and the season. We get relegated and we keep Ruben Amorim, right?
No,
and
he wouldn't keep his relegated.
Job. But that's a free pass.
Owen, what were they saying before?
There you go, Owen. Now we're podding.
Owen,
go on.
People said,
go on.
If you get relegated, good for a reset. Can get things.
No.
Some people said that, but let's be real though with the relegation thing. If I'm being honest,
we're not getting relegated.
We're not getting relegated. So just leave that. So what is? Can I just say then? Can I just say this?
points.
Can I just say this? KG, right? We say we don't like the term free pass. So what is the expectation of Ruben Amorim this season? I'm going to ask an open-ended question. What is the expectation of Ruben Amorim this season? Is it nothing?
Don't get relegated.
Right. Well, then that's a free pass then. That's a free. Do what you want. Lose record amount. Keep losing.
No,
just don't get relegated. But we're not going to get relegated. It's a free pass.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. I think everyone keeps saying it's embarrassing. Man United need to get 41 points, and then we need to prepare for next season. Now, I want him to push in the Europa League. I want us to see what we can do. But then every time I talk about, let's see if we can win it. Let me land this. I wanted to push in the Europa League, yeah. But guess what? Everyone, as soon as I say, let's see what we can do in the Europa League, people's like, are you stupid? We're not going to do anything in the Europa League. So then after, okay, well, using everything that everyone's saying, as Carragher comes out and says, I wanted to say, he's silly for saying this team's really bad because I wanted to say it. Bro, this is a shite team. We are not better than getting to the 41 points and done. And then guess what? It's time to rebuild. If you're telling this man, try and work a miracle with no signings and players that he doesn't even want, and then all of a sudden, but he has to go up the league. How? Go ahead.
So can I say something?
Yes.
When all is gone domestically, can't build for the future, can't do nothing. 100%. What's the point? Don't change. In cup competitions, because that's what we got. We got the FA Cup, we got Europa League. Yeah. Because remember, it wasn't too long ago. We're still saying we're shit. But we're in it for cups. Still need to win. Still want to have ambition to do stuff. Eric Ten Hag, in certain games, as we got through the cups, different stages, you change something momentarily because it's one-off games to get through. Are we saying that in these cups, again, don't change anything, don't do anything, like Aditya says there, F the cups. F the cups, man. Don't mean anything. F the cups. So basically, don't try to do anything to get us to the next stage. Just keep it's a free pass. So just
I'm saying we're gonna try and the main thing is the bread and butter is we need to be in this league, right? We're gonna try and
we are gonna be in the league.
And also as well, these players, if they even got a whiff of free pass, then we're not gonna win a single game because they don't try that much. Exactly. Anyway, I think the thing that we do actually also have to consider is legitimately. I know there's not many days left of the window, but like if we do get a couple of signings in. And let's say we get like two wing backs. Let's say we get a left wing back and we got like a right wing back in, whatever. Then I think there would be an expectation of it should get a little bit better because the players are coming in. So again, that's another part of it where it's like, well, it depends what happens over the next couple of weeks, I think too. But I think again, with the free pass, it just kind of implies that again, it all doesn't matter. And I suppose in the long term, it doesn't. But what my thing would be for the rest of the season, I think it's going to be that we're going to continue on being like what it's been over the last few weeks, which is there'll be a couple of results we don't think we're going to get. And we go, tell you what, that wasn't bad. And then there'll be, we'll play some not so great teams like we played Southampton. We'll scrape through those games and go, okay, we'll play better teams, likely at home, like when we played Brighton, like when we played Newcastle or whoever. We'll lose those games and it'll be like, Man United in the mud. We will be Chelsea of the last couple of seasons where they were, like 13th, 12th, that kind of mid-table fodder. And I think that will be enough to get him to the end of the season. But it does hinge on what we do in the next couple of weeks in January. Because if players do come in, then there will be a bit of an expectation of, well, some players come in. It's not going to be completely perfect. But I think that kind of like, and like again, the game at the weekend, where I didn't even get Southampton, but we did just get outplayed. We just got outplayed, and you're looking around going, those players can't do it, and they're not good enough. Even if you did get in a couple of specialty positions, I think there would be a little bit of like, all right, I'm not expecting us to score goals, but I'm expecting to see a bit more from the wing backs. I'm expecting to see a little bit more, not massive improvement. So again, it's still kind of up in the air.
Can I say this? We said, this team needs open heart surgery. So what are you expecting from this team? Everyone knows the truth about this team. Everyone knows the truth about this club.
Open heart surgery again. You can see it again. We've already had it before.
Yeah, you can see. Well, no, we said we got open heart surgery. People said we got BBL. We didn't. We went in for the wrong thing. Do you know what I mean? We went in for the aesthetics. We didn't go in for what we actually needed. So
open heart surgery. We came out with a new hairline.
Yeah. Like What are you not doing? What are you not playing at? So everyone knows the issue with this team. We week in, week out. You watch us on the match views. Anything we do, we start the show and then we quickly realize this team is shit. Yeah. All the pressing monster is Ahmad. Stop Ahmad, stop Man United. Frustrate Bruno or go 1-0 down. Bruno's gonna try and start to try and start doing things that he shouldn't do. Onana's gonna just be Onana. You know, there's Delo is gonna absolutely give nothing on that side, even though apparently he's great at delivery. All those things, those arguments age like trash. Because Delo, what is he like? Is he a better version of Wan-Bissaka in a sense? What is that? Because apparently he's good on the ball and he's good delivery. I haven't seen shite, yeah. But then we all know we got all these issues. We got, unfortunately, Kobe's struggling a bit in the position that he's in. We got problems all over the place. So now you lot looking like that and saying, well, should this manager be given a free? You can see the issues. You can see the problems. There's so many there. So now to say, no, I expect something from this manager when Ten Hag couldn't get something from these players and he spent the money. He spent all the money on them. They're his players. They sacked the man that wanted these guys, that worked with these guys before, in the past. So you're telling me he knows these players, couldn't get a tune out of them. A guy that comes in with an exactly different system, he has to come in and get a tune out of them. How? How does it work? I just now got to perform a miracle. That for this to work here, everyone has to do things that they never done before. You have to tell us that for this team to really get into gear, Delo has to find sensational form. I'm talking form that he's never attributed in his life, in his career. Luke Shaw has to be fit. Let's keep it going. Rasmus Højlund has to get a goal record in the Premier League. Xerxes too has to get a goal record in the Premier League. I'm telling you, everyone has to have their best season for us to be okay. That's not happening. You probably get 2 players. I'm talking, the average, and these lot's average is trash. Their average is rubbish, and that's what it is. And you're still trying to work out. And while this is all happening, he ain't getting time on the training ground. He ain't getting time to bed in the new system. There's so much to deal with. But all of a sudden, but he's got to do better. Then people are going to start looking at the manager and saying, this is why the manager's not good enough. No excuses. Mate, if you're not looking at the original problems, then you're a fool. We've got issues and you're just focusing. We're doing it again. Focus on the manager. And before, we should have focused on Ten Hag because he had so much time. But right now, to put the focus on the manager when we are now selling youngsters, the issues at the top have really affected this club, and we can't even now. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's a big embarrassment that we are selling our youth. It is. It's an embarrassment we're selling the youth. This is where we are, but then we have to. Why? Because them lot have effed it up. But hey, listen, let's focus on the manager, and he's gonna do bad, and there'll be no excuses. Let's get a new one. Brilliant. New one comes in and then he says, I don't want to play the system. I need to switch back and I need wingers again. And you see Garnacho ripping it up in Napoli or going.
You can just see it, You can just see it. Like, we all know where it's going, don't we?
I need wingers. And then after we sold all our wingers, we sold everyone. Rashford's walked out for 20 million and Rashford's enjoying himself on the wing now. That's where we literally gonna go on that. Listen, it probably happened.
German says, KG, why is the manager there to bring out the best of those players, right? But that's what you're saying. No, he's not. He's there to undo that and leave them players. Because that we've seen that they haven't.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it again. We are gonna go. We're going on that journey, and we're just gonna do it again, and then it's gonna be embarrassing, and we're gonna have this. Now we have all these centre backs that we don't need, we can't sell.
And also this is when Ruben Amorim comes in. Look, it's not gonna be great for this season, but we'll just get to the end of the season, it will be fine, and next season let him have a couple of transfer windows, let him have a pre-season, cool. And if we lose, it's gonna be tough, but we're gonna take it. Couple of losses. Oh, this manager in it. This is he's not. Why is he not getting better? Why is he not getting more out of these players that aren't his? The reason we said that about Ten Hag, because to KG's point, they were his. They were his. He'd had several transfer windows. He had the 600 million.
Hundreds of million.
At the very least, he should get, Ruben Amorim minimum should get into what? December next year, minimum. Where it's
he said the 2.5 years is enough to know, like, if I'm the right guy. Because that's like 2 solid summers. Yeah.
He should have at least
we should see input. We should see improvement after each window. That's for sure. But also, you have to look at the other side of, okay, so throwing these players throwing these players under the bus, sorry. Yes, 100%. Like, call them out. Some people saying, oh, you shouldn't say the team shit in public. Most of us are saying, good, call it out. Mash up the TV. Give them the shock value. But how much of these players are actually going to be gone? First of all, you need these players for the rest of this season. If we're being honest, in the summer, we talk about how rubbish the players are. And I would say half of these players, easily half of these players still going to be there. So you're still going to have to work with them. So what I'm saying is he's not going to be able to get rid of these players for some time, because this is where Ineos are going to come into it. When you talk about all these players can't be sold, nobody wants them, this, that. The ones where the contracts are ending, cool. Lindelof and what's his name? Ericsson and stuff like that. But a lot of players will still be here. Mason Mount will probably still be here. Dallo will probably still be here. Luke Shaw probably just won't go. There's going to be a lot of players that are still here. So what's going to be interesting is what rate, and this is why we turn to Ineos, what rate can you get these players out versus get the new ones in? And how contaminated is it with some of them still there? Because you can't just get to the summer and like this Ralph Rangnick thing happens where there's just none of them players there no more. So how does he manage that as well? I can't wait to see that bit, because at the end of the day, we don't know how many of them are gone. We don't know. We really don't know. Red Brown says, do you remember complaining Erik ten Hag was lying in the presses? Yeah, because he was basically saying he was deluded in them presses. And now basically the manager's coming out and saying, good, F these guys. Some people don't like it. Uncle says, don't forget David. We love those summer signings. David,
yeah.
Don't forget David. David Gill.
Yeah, probably.
David Hare.
David.
Oh.
Or is he still going?
Or don't forget David. Or is he talking to David?
I still know. Go with the Dan Ashworth thing. It's not worked out, Uncle. It's not worked out, that one.
Yeah. Anyway, this David says, so Ineos didn't plan to invest in the club. I don't get it. Well,
hey, you know what's pissing me off as well? How come Casemiro can't go to Saudi? They buy everyone. Just we can't even.
Don't want to go. He don't want to go.
No legends. Who doesn't want to go?
KG's even wearing his Saudi-coloured hat to try and convince him. You know.
Wait, he doesn't want to go, or they don't want him.
Casemiro don't want to go.
For fuck's sake.
But they haven't. It's not like they've come with a bid and he said no. They didn't even come with a bid.
No,
but maybe they haven't bidded because.
Do you know what's funny? It's the same things happened. Same things happened in the summer. Remember, right at the start of the summer, Casemiro, he's basically gone. He's gone Saudi. He's going to go Saudi. And then the report came out 2 weeks later. He doesn't want to go. So this January window, Cristiano Ronaldo's had a word. You know, he said, "Give me Casemiro," and then like 2 weeks later, it comes out from Saudi like, "No, that's not happened. That's not happened." And he's got back. He's north of 30 on 300k a week. He's like, I don't want to go Saudi. I'm all right.
But the thing is, he can actually, but he can double that now. He's not. I know, but the thing is, Amorim's really making an example now, though, because he is unused sub after unused sub now. Yeah. Like he's in the territory of this. Obviously, let's be honest, he might come in for a game or two here, just for maybe a few minutes. I don't know, especially how we're not doing too great in midfield. He might just go to him for a game, but there's nothing there. Yeah, he might just start him tomorrow. He might just start.
He's going to lose the dressing room, guys. Is Amorim going to lose the dressing room?
Well, no. What do you mean?
I don't know what you're saying. Look,
these were the criminals. Yeah, let's say the
window closes. Let's say the window closes. Yeah, and we get nothing in. His last presser was.
Yeah, these men are shit.
These men are shit. Yeah.
Did you see his hands? People were looking at his fingers.
Yeah, mad.
Has he? What happens? Because you dropped obviously Rashford's on the outs. You have to be careful. Remember when I said when you fight in wars, you can't just fight every war on every front at one time. Like you're in trouble. And you can tell that, look how Ten Hag ended. He lost the dressing room because you saw the players that said goodbye to him, and you saw the players that you basically saw who liked him, who didn't. Yeah. He's now in a battle with Rashford, which we all understand. He's in a battle. Probably he's telling Casemiro, "You're not playing games." Who else is going to be on his "I don't want to play you" list? Because there's got to be a few that he's just and they can form.
Eriksen's
they
a
form their own
natural
group.
one because he's not playing. But Eriksen's not like problematic. But he just, you're not involved in this.
We don't know what the dressing room looks like. Carry on.
Yeah, you can still say my man's an idiot, but it's obviously he's not part of it, so you could put him in there. Lindelof ain't part of it. Again, going in the summer. Johnny Evans has got respect. He'll be all right. He just, knows what he's doing.
When a lot of the people start to hate you and that siege mentality starts to build in terms of it's you versus us, it gets different. Remember,
that's when it goes back to Ineos. That's when it
free
goes
pass,
back
mate. Don't matter. Let's get to the end of the season.
No, this is what I'm saying. This is
Don't
when it
matter
goes
if we
back
fall
to
out with the
Ineos.
players. Free pass.
This is when it goes back to Ineos of going, they need to protect him in that sense of going, look, yeah, we are going to try and get rid of all of you. And some of you ain't going to play. And you can piss and you can moan and you can get in your little cliques and try and, be like, oh, we don't like the new manager. He's not it. But you're going to go, not him. It's a bit like the Arteta thing at Arsenal. When he went in there were senior players there. There were players that had been there a while. There was, Aubameyang, Lacazette, David Luiz, Kolasinac, Mesut Ozil. I know the circumstances were different there, but you get my point. There are lots of big personalities around there, and the decision has to be made of, we don't care if you don't like him, or we don't care if you don't rate him, and we don't care if you get, offended that he doesn't rate you or you're trying to be sold. If it comes to a decision of you or him, it will be you that goes. And I think that's why, so maybe that's why like a Rashford or whatever, they do need to follow through with that, because if he does get reintegrated back in, then it's bad optics, isn't it? Of, actually, he was frozen out. Manager didn't rate him. Now he's back in. Oof, I'm not sure how that's kind of going to be perceived. Again, it's got to be. And to be fair, look, that happened with Ten Hag. He got backed. He got backed, with people, whether it was De Gea, whether it was Ronaldo, whether it was Sancho. They all ended up going, whether that was for right or wrong. And Ineos have to do the same, because if they don't, then to KG's point, then he will be a dead man walking, because even himself, he'll be like, I lost that one. I didn't think I was going to lose that battle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You talk about the optics. The problem that we've got is in this early stages, which is the noise from the outside, which does creep inside, but most of the noise from the outside is interesting. You can say these lot are the worst ever. You can take players out. So say you're better off without Marcus Rashford. You can sell Garnacho. If you do these things and you continue to keep losing, the charm runs out, is what I'm saying, which is why I worry. When I'm saying about Ineos, this is why I get back to Ineos of how stupid they could be, which I hope they're not. Hopefully they ain't got enough money to start looking at Amram and start trying to sack him or anything. But remember when football changes so quick. Remember, Owen, the shows we were doing is, boy, fucking hell, this Liverpool and Arsenal, if we get 8-0 twice, like Ineos could just do something stupid. We're on that vibe of like, these criminals, they look a bit scattergunnish. They haven't made any good decisions since they've come here. Let's be real. On another show, I said to KG, what's some of the good things they've done? KG went, boy, I can't really, you know what, boy. So we got real with some of what we're talking about. We have to be real. They ain't done shit. Ineos ain't done nothing good. I'll say that. They haven't. Whether or not they've done this to then put us in a position to do good after, we're going to get into that territory and find out. But if you say that they start to get twitchy and he just keeps losing and cussing the team, and Ruben Amorim has made it very clear, which we love. He said early doors, this is him. Yeah, well, you either carry on with this idea or they change the coach again. Like, this is my idea, mate. I'm good. I'm young. I'm not. You lot are all fazed by this. I will not change one iota. And then he even tripled down, quadrupled down on that after the Bournemouth, after the what was game of the day? Did we get moved to by? It's at Brighton. He said, listen, I saw players. This is why I was really angry. I saw players changing positions. That was the first time he said they've basically not listened to me out on the pitch. And he said, we're never going to see that again. I could have put 2 strikers. I didn't do that. Because we're chasing a game, I'm going to put 2 strikers. No, we stick to the principles that if we're going to lose, we lose my way. And he said this is the first time that them man weren't doing what he asked them to do. So hence why they smashed TVs, cutting his finger, whatever. And he came out and said, these are the worst. I think they pissed him off so bad in this bit, which is good.
Good. I like it. I like that he showed some. I like that he showed some grit and some fight and some stuff. Go on, you can read the super. Then
Yeah, let me get rid of all of these and then carry on. Kishan says, selling Garnacho at this price is a joke. He's young, has years on his contract, homegrown due to how long he's been in the UK. Also, it's January. How much would we get charged for someone like that? This is what Owen was talking about, what we been talking about yesterday. As long as if you let him go and you don't come back with something reliable, good in this window, we're gonna go mad. We're entitled to. Zakasa says Ten Hag might join Dortmund now. Redemption arc. Don't want Amorim to change. Players have to adapt. This is basically his preseason to test the players. Yeah, they've sat near Sahin, so if Ten Hag goes there, which is very likely.
Laurie Whitwell said he's not going to join before July. He's not going to join. He said he's not joining now.
So. That looked like it would be
Ten Hag. They said, understand Eric Ten Hag has no plans to return to management before July amid links to Borussia Dortmund.
Wow, you thought that would have been a dead cert, but even the summer, you know what I mean?
He's like that, he was like it with us, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's true.
He goes, I'll wait.
Yeah. Joe Fleming says
we should expect... waiting is smart. Look what Amarin's getting through right now.
Exactly. I'll see how it plays out.
Joe Fleming says we should expect a good run in Europa. No free pass. Oh, you shouldn't expect it. We can't expect anything because the team's not good enough, really. That's in it. That's basically we can't expect anything.
That's what I'm saying. We have to get real. Man United fans have to get real. We're shit. So guess what? When we go into these games, we hope for something, but we just like those other mid-table teams, we might win this weekend. We possibly won't.
You still win a couple of the shit though. If you approach certain games, right?
Then guess what? But then that's not what right. I would love to win the cup. I would love to go all out, but we have to just understand we're in the worst form of our lives. We're everything that we've been predicting was going to happen has happened to this team. And now we just have to go into games. Some people are saying we're still Man United. Get that out of your head. That's gone a long time ago. We're getting turned over by teams like Bournemouth, Brentford. We're going into these games where they can get a lot more players into the combined 11. Now we have to just be real and say, okay, we're on the floor. Let's get through the season and then we hope that upstairs and there's some investment in the team. But if you're going to games thinking that we're going to do something, then more for you. You know, they call me the deluded one. And we're all here in the chat saying, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. That's why we talk about free pass. It's not even just, the message is not free passes. Get over the line and rebuild this club. Get over the line, get a preseason, bring in some players, let this coach, who I believe is a good one, let him do his job. So then now, if you lot are getting in with the thing of, this is what I'm going to be mad at him because this hasn't happened and this hasn't happened, and he's shown me, no, guys. The other guy who bought all these players couldn't do it and sacked him. Yeah, and those were cut to his specification. This new guy doesn't have that. Get over the line. Simple as that.
And he's always going to have an element of power. Like, so he hasn't even bought or sold one player.
I mean, the super chat on the screen is mad. It's bad.
So Ryan said, you lot are just as bad as the Glazers. So we're just as bad, KG and Owen. Panic-stricken and confused. Y'all backed Eric Ten Hag into 21 signings and are now demanding the repeat. Excuses for Amorim.
Yeah, he should get the same stuff that Eric Ten Hag got. Why would he not?
He needs a chance to rebuild the squad. How's he going to rebuild it then? Mad. D Witness says
he shouldn't get signings, Flex. He shouldn't get signings. No, exactly. He shouldn't be. No.
D Witness says Facundo, Amari Force, and James Garner. Man, it's chess, not checkers. What if they just say don't rate them? Rate him like that. Basically, Garnacho. If you just put him in,
he's not in that list with James.
He's not in that list. Yeah, he's not on that list. He's not. Mav says you need new scouts first, or what's the point? And Killer says no manager has had their first choice signings. Don't ever get them.
He hasn't got.
What is that? Luca? I don't even know. L1 GU. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Scouting is poor. You can't have a name like that's crazy. I can't get scripts of that. Scouting is poor. Dorgu heavily left-footed. Isn't that good for the left side? Isn't that maybe something we want? Someone heavily left-footed or profile. Someone left-footed. We need some. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Not saying Dorgu. Not saying he's the answer. He's amazing. This guy plays for Lecce. He's 20 years old. Played 4 times for Denmark. Like we don't. He's one for now, but we're gonna have to wait for him to get good. But I'm just saying, surely a left-footed left wing back ain't.
Well, as they mentioned in the chat last night, Alvaro Fernandez. I know Benfica lost in that mad game, but he did all right, didn't he, against Barcelona?
Yeah.
You know?
This is what we always do.
Buyback clause.
And that. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Might as well buy back Elanga as well. All right.
My son. Is Elanga
felt,
better than
right?
Garnacho? Is he?
What?
I'm actually asking the question. I'm not even doing my son.
I didn't hear the question. I was laughing at KG because he froze. So that's fine.
I'm actually asking. I swear to God, I'm not doing any funny thing or trying to. I just want to see what people. Is Anthony Elanga better than Garnacho?
No.
Okay.
You'll see. Don't worry. We'll get time to. The time will tell. Because he's just playing for Man United, and everyone looks shit playing for us. As soon as he leaves, we'll see.
Play good.
Well, you remember, let's remember what the chat was saying when Elanga used to come on. Owen, you remember the match views?
This is what I was about to say. I was about to say it depends because you go like, okay, right? Could Elanga do what Garnacho's done at United? You know. And I know Elanga scored a couple of goals, but I mean, you know, let's face it, Garnacho has scored big goals for United. And I know he's not been great this season, but last season he was one of our most consistent players in a bad season. But then at the same time, if you put Garnacho into the Forest team right now, does he do what Elanga's doing?
Yes, probably. And some. Yes, and some.
Probably. But then this is when I go back to KG. This is when it goes back to. It depends on systems, doesn't it? It depends on the system, and it depends on the team at the moment because they are different kind of players. And I know that the problem is nowadays that's not an answer people want to hear because it's too nuanced. It's got to be either just yes or no blanket. But it is different.
It's the trick question, really, because really it is about systems and environments and finding the level. Well, finding the level. Well, he's third in the league. Then he's third in the league, competing that towards the top of the league. Playing in games against Liverpool where you go, right, if we win this, we're in the title race. That's the level he's playing at. That's the current level he's playing at. So when you say he's found his level, we're in 13th. So again, these conversations are difficult to have because you don't expect that to happen. Playing for Man United isn't just about like a one-season wonder where you can go to another club, they have a good season. So that playing for Man United, the Man United we want to see is top draw. It's playing in the Champions League, doing a madness. It's playing for league titles. It's in and out of.
Has he played every single game for Forest this season?
No, he had a period where he was out the team.
Let's not pretend like it because he's on form at the moment. Is what we're saying is he's on form,
massively on form. And last season he did a bit as well.
And also as well, like with any player when they leave United, we only hear about them when they score or do well. When they're not doing great, we don't hear anything.
Wolfie, so since he's gone there though, he's done well. He's done well.
But it's not as if like. You know, it's only really now that the form's really started to peak. Like I said, last season did score a couple of goals. In fairness, give him that. But it's like the Sancho thing, isn't it? We only hear about Sancho at Chelsea when he does well.
This year, Alejandro Garnacho has got more goals and assists than him in this shit Man United team. So Elanga's got 3 and 5, 3 goals, 5 assists. So he's having a good season, but it's all about because of the team.
And also, again, we're hearing about him now because he's on form now, and we only hear about players when they've left United when they play well. McTominay, I don't know how many goals he scored this season, but I only hear about him at Napoli when he scores, and Napoli are doing well at the moment. So it's like, he scored again, when actually the reality is, has he scored any more or less than he scored for United last season? Back. Probably not.
Owen, I promise you, will we be back? Like how we're back for Alvaro, any of these players, we will be back here once again, and we will be saying something completely different because it's the Man United way. It's the Man United way, and it will happen with any player that leaves this club. We even saw as soon as what's that tall guy, Weghorst left Man United and played for his team for the first time. He scored a hat trick. I swear he scored a hat trick.
Yeah, so basically,
we'll be
as
back.
Soon as you get out of this environment. Basically, players go and thrive. That's the real thing of what it is. I mean, KG asked for a quick comparison. Obviously, Elanga is not in the same amount of competitions as Man United at the minute. He's played 24 games. He scored 3 goals. He's got 5 assists in 24 games. This season, Garnacho has had to play 32 games. So he's played a lot more games. He's got 8 goals and 5 assists. So he's played more games.
And also, when it comes to McTominay, last season,
the GA. Can't just look at the GA.
Last season, he played 43 games for United and scored 10 goals.
In a great season.
This season for Napoli, he's played 23 games. He scored 6 goals. So he's roughly on the same path that he was on. He's probably played more minutes, in fairness, because he's probably started more for Napoli. But in terms of like games played and goals scored, in terms of his contributions, because apparently it's all we care about is goals. It's only when we hear about these players when they leave United is when they score. He's actually about on the same. He might end up about 12 goals this season, maybe 2 goals.
Yeah.
More.
The key difference is
so there's no real difference.
And because they're going for the league title, playing against Atalanta as a title decided game, you know, all these types of things. Same with Forest. They're involved in the big boy games now. It changes. It changes the complexion of the player. So I agree with KG. You can't, although I'm joking in my son Elanga, listen, he's doing really, really well. I'm so happy for him because he's in a good environment. He said in the interview with Rio, it feels like he's got more purpose because he's one of the main guys. It's different. It's different. It's completely different. We have to remember, like you said, when Elanga was playing at United, we went need to find the level that he needs to be at. But the thing that still keeps ringing true, which is still a massive problem, though, is how is it that everybody keeps coming here, no matter who it is? Let's be real, and they just die. That's the real question. Sancho, Garnacho through the ranks, Kobe, we're now going bloody hell. What does this look like? All this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Everybody dies, and that's the real
season for Kobe. We have to, and that's why that I hear when people say, even when I even heard Said's patient bar in it. Some players may not deserve some patience, but then you have to give. This is just Kobe's second season. He has to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he will. But then for we selling or saying all this other stuff that's happening or getting onto him again, I feel like he's got some good credit in the bank for his last season. So let's give him his chance now.
Of course,
it's Murky said it all the time with youngsters. They're gonna have their ups and down moments. We just have to stay with the kid and not put as much pressure as we put on him.
TV Thrill says this Garnacho situation is like needing money for rent, but we don't want to sell the PS5. Carl says the league has gotten better. Teams have better scouting, more money from TV deals, better coaching than before. I think fans need to realize it's 2024, it's 2025.
Yeah. That kind of negates the super chat there with that one.
You're in the
I need to realize it's 2024.
Yeah.
You don't realize it's 2025.
Stuck in the past, mate. You got a stinker there. I get what you're trying to say until you said the wrong year. Joe, Carl, beg you right in to say, did you meet that? You must think, oh, what have I done?
No, we know about it's a stinker though.
Joe says, Harry Redknapp always said F systems, it's about talent. Great little player.
Terrific.
Saptashi's terrific. It's all about talent. It's all systems, all this, but it's all about a player. Saptashi says, is Dalot better than Wan-Bissaka? Or was it Eric's system?
Hey, Dalot's not better than Wan-Bissaka. We know that now. We all know that now.
Yeah, but last year we were saying if one is paid back, this is why you got to sell Wan-Bissaka.
But we all know that now.
At left wing back,
he says that remember, Dalot's supposed to be good at delivery. That's what he has over Wan-Bissaka. He's better going forward.
What would Wan-Bissaka be like at left wing back then? He's have to play
like the same as Dalot. Same as Dalot. Just probably with a bit more defensive, work. Same as Dalot.
And Doflamingo says Elanga 13 goals and assists last season. Garnacho 11 goals and assists. Elanga 8 goals and assists this season. Garnacho 4 goals and assists in the league. Garnacho numbers massively influenced by the Barnsley game. So again, if you want to get into the GA, you can start to...
Do you know what's a good influence with that? I think a good influence is, right, so Elanga's 2 years older than Garnacho, isn't he? He's 22.
I thought he was older than that.
Yeah, so he's
20,
he's 22, Garnacho's 20. 2 years ago, when Elanga was 20, he was on his way out for United and we were saying he wasn't good enough. Look at the amount that Garnacho's contributed already at the age of 20.
And look what he's going for. Elanga, I know we said we should have sold for more.
And to who?
15 million to Forest. When Forest weren't this Forest, by the way. It was like relegation Forest. Yeah. And now we're going, this kid, Chelsea, Napoli, need at least 60, 70. Why do we need at least 60, 70 if he's
the trajectory on Garnacho is considerably higher, isn't it? It's considerably higher than Elanga's.
I love our fans
at this stage of his career.
And these are the same fans. We don't respect our players. Cool, it's fine.
Flex United View said Garnacho is rubbish. Only a certain channel running an agenda that he's good. So he's rubbish. Manchester United would be alarmed if Ruben Amorim ditched the system. Oh, is that news or did someone say that? Yeah, there you go. Anyway, guys, it's been a massive show, as you can imagine. This is why it had to be live. Shout out Risaba, for the contribution. Yeah, it's been a crazy one. KG is going to be live. Make sure you guys go head over there and go check it out. In 5 minutes.
Is that set up, KG? Is it set up?
Yeah, set up. Good set up. I'm just so annoyed.
He seems annoyed. He doesn't like the fan base right now.
We're just pricks. Like, we're pricks and we don't learn. We're just gonna continue. We're just gonna do the same mistakes, bro.
You're the problem with the fan base.
No, we're just pricks. We just anyway. Yeah, see you later.
It's people like you, KG, who you want to silence people. You don't want them to have their opinion. It's people like you that's the problem. You just want to blindly back, what Amorim's doing. You give him a free pass. It's people like you that's the problem. You know what I mean?
Well, they say KG's on charges. Have you got a court case on your channel today? Is that what's going on?
I'm always in court, bro. So I'll be there. See you lot soon.
All right, guys, we're out of it. Take care. He's pissed off in the morning. We're out of it. Take care, people.